Well, anytime over the next 2 weeks, the U.S. Senate could vote on a bill that would overturn a mining ban in the Superior National Forest, paving the way for copper nickel mining on the edge of the Boundary Waters. Minnesota Senator Tina Smith, a Democrat, spoke on the Senate floor this afternoon, encouraging her Republican colleagues to vote against the bill, which the U.S. House passed back in January. Now, the bill would overturn President Biden's 20-year mining ban on 225,000 acres in the Superior National Forest, aiming to block plans for copper nickel mining. Northern Minnesota's Republican Congressman Pete Stauber claims that ban cost countless union jobs, which is why he introduced the legislation to overturn it. But critics fear copper nickel mining just outside of the Boundary Waters could pollute the wilderness area. On the Senate floor today, Smith says she supports mining, but not the copper nickel mining proposal by Twin Metals.
So what we're doing here with this mine is we're creating a pathway, a pipeline for this foreign company to build a mine, almost certainly polluting the Boundary Waters, to take the copper, to send it to China, where they then have a sweetheart deal for smelting and then sell it back out on the open market.
Stauber has said this domestic mining would boost the U.S. economy and steel industries. And Hibbing's mayor, who's also in favor, says copper nickel mining can be done responsibly. Now, if the Republican-controlled Senate votes to overturn the ban, it would then head to President Trump's desk for its signature. We also reached out to Minnesota's other Democratic U.S. Senator Amy Klobuchar to learn how she plans to vote on this issue. She wrote, quote, "This bill would be an unprecedented use of procedural mechanism that would have far-reaching consequences for public lands across the country, and I will not be supporting it." Klobuchar is currently campaigning for Minnesota governor.